And if you happen to not know of the legendary broadcast professional, Mr. Perry Williams, I'm here to tell you who he is. Mr. Perry Williams is a seasoned broadcast professional, news anchor, content creator, generates news contents for Chicago's WVAZ and WGRB radio stations, as well as Black Information Network. Mr. Perry Williams, news anchor for V103 Chicago, the president of World Communications Institution. He's a Chicago legend, guys, from the radio, a Chicago legend. He's also the host of with Legends Chicago. What is it? Chicago Legends Radio?
Chicago radio legends.
Chicago Radio Legends. Of course, Mr. Perry Williams worked with people like Doug Banks, Howard McGee, and the most important thing that stands out to me about Mr. Perry Williams is he's the president, the pastor of Kingdom Now Ministries International with his wife, of course. So please welcome to Real Life Topics Podcast and Biggs Radio I Global audience, Mr. Perry Williams.
Woo! Round of applause.
Mr. Perry Williams. Welcome,
Hey,
Mr.
thank you
Perry.
so much. Thank you
Mr.
so
Perry
much.
Williams.
Yes,
Could you
indeed.
tell Real Life Topics Podcast, Biggs Radio I Global audience, everyone that's listening out there, who is Perry Williams in your definition?
Wow. How much time you got? Actually, in a nutshell, I'm the same person that's, and most people may not believe this, but I'm the same guy that's in ministry that's in the journalism space. So I take that same character, I take that same mindset, that same intentionality into all that I do. And even if you listen to Chicago Radio Legends, you will not hear any profanity. You will hear, I mean, I didn't even tell them that I don't want any profanity, but it's just the way you carry yourself, the way that you initiate the whole uh, piece that people get it, you know. So how can I put it? Broadcast professional, what I wrote here, that's what I look at myself as in the broadcast space because I've been a manager. I've been, what is that term I called? Uh, the people who just, like the groundhogs, the people that work 9 to 5. But then again, I've been a manager, so I've experienced the whole gamut. And professionalism is going to be the key that keeps you in the industry and even brings you back in. Because if you're not on time, I keep saying this, if you're not on time, you can have all the skills in the world. It's not going to do. You got to be professional, got to be on time. You have to speak proper English. You have to, I mean, you can do whatever you want when you're away from the mic, but the bosses want you to speak a certain way. The King's English when you're doing what you do. Yep. But I've been speaking the King's English all my life. So even though I grew up on the West Side. So yeah. So in a nutshell, that's who I am. I'm the same person. I'm the same individual, you know, broadcast professional, kingdom citizen, all that. That's my short answer.
Yes. So you're basically a jack of all trades, of course. One of the number one radio personalities that I personally grew up on. This is Perry Williams, and Perry Williams would, speak the news. Now you're an instructor. I wanted to base a little bit on what you have a school, and
I
what
do.
made you? Yeah. So what made you come up with the school? Because again, you can tell you're an instructor because you just instructed us and gave us some pointers about being on time and proper etiquette of being professional. What made you go out on faith and just say, hey, I'm gonna come up with my own school?
Well, ladies, I'll say this. You know how the Bible talks about all the fivefold ministry gifts and the offices. Well, I'm a teacher. So that's what I do. I instruct World Communication Institute. I instruct on the job, wherever I go, that's what I'm doing. And it's so natural and innate for me. But answering your question, how did I get in that space for instructing for World Communication Institute? I give credit to my wife, because she came up to me one day and said, have you ever thought about having your own radio station? And I grimaced. Ugh. Because that's the term I was looking for earlier, worker bee. I was a worker bee for so long, and I knew that was a tough job, just staying in my space.
Uh-huh.
But to manage an entire radio station, I'm like, oh no, I can't fathom that. So I worked at a local broadcast school as an instructor, and the pandemic came. And as a result of the pandemic, I'm starting to sound like your previous guest, who her ministries got jump started during the pandemic. I was just looking at one of your previous interviews. But anyway, I was sidelined because of the pandemic. And then all of a sudden I got this thought. Now I know who the thought came from. I'm not going to say, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very direct. Holy Spirit
Say it again.
said,
Say it again.
You are the brand.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he also shared, the people who are in the industry, you could start your own school. So I started my own school, and I had a captive audience because, no one was going anywhere, and I was virtual. So I had like 30 students, and that's how it jump started. And right now I don't have as many students, but I'm reshaping the school now. I got a marketing person now, so we're about to do some great things and probably go on television and promote and talk about media and things of that sort. So I'm excited about the direction of World Communication Institute.
Yes, Carmisha and I are going to enter into that school. We got some things we got some pointers that we need to, because we, of course, are honored to have you on our show. And we also, I personally want to be like you when I grow up. So,
oh, wow.
I want
to
thank you for that vision. I want to thank your wife. Shout out to your wife.
Yeah, Veronica. Yeah.
We need that. We're up and coming media mavens, media radio personalities. And of course, what other way is it to go to school and to learn the proper etiquettes and the proper ways to become professional, as Perry Williams is. Shout out to Chico Jackson. He's tuning in. And Miss Kimberly Patterson said, good evening. Mr. Perry Williams is dropping some knowledge. Yes, he is.
Wow.
Yes, he is. Yes,
wow.
He is.
Well, I'm supposed to if I'm a teacher, right?
That's correct.
But that comes naturally. Most of the things that I'm doing now is what I'll go out on a limb and say I'm doing what I've been instructed to do.
Being led
by him. Yes, indeed. Exactly. And at 65, I've never been so busy. My wife is like, she's kind of like shocked almost. You're doing everything. You're doing this and doing, but you know what? This is my season for pouring out. That's what I want to do.
And you're
go ahead.
Professional at this time. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of wisdom that you have gained throughout your journey that now the Spirit has led you to be able to share those things and the fruits of your spirit with other people as well. So that's a great thing.
Exactly. I got a brief story I want to share with you. I went to broadcast school. It might have been 19. It was way back. It was 80 something, 83, 84 with Rick Party. We were in the broadcast school together. And one of the classmates got a job in radio. And I was like, what about me? And I was like, I know I put in the work, and this guy really didn't. Honestly, he didn't. It was very obvious And I was like, man, it frustrated me. So sometimes maybe over the last few weeks or so, I've been sitting down reflecting about that moment of frustration. And now I look back 38 years, I've survived a lot of people. I've survived a lot of coworkers, and even in you're talking about mental health. I had some haters within the industry that I out survived them too. So it's like it's Him, God, that orchestrates my journey. And I got some really supernatural stories that have happened where I know it wasn't me. I mean, you don't get hired sight unseen by a radio station. You should have an interview. But this was in another city. They heard my air check. We want you to start on such and such a date. And they were graceful enough to allow me to spend time with my family for the holidays and then go move to Cleveland, Ohio. So, yeah.
And that's where you started your career in Cleveland, correct?
No, I actually, okay, here's the criteria when I was coming into the industry. And this was like in the 80s. If you're born in Chicago, you can't start in Chicago because you would be considered a novice. So what they instructed you to do was to go work in a small market, which I did. I worked in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Then a medium market, which was Cleveland, and then back home. Now, I wanted to go that route, and I did, but it wasn't me. It was Him that allowed, because I know many people that started out like me, they ended up living in those small markets. They ended up living in those middle markets and never making it home. But I vowed that if I ever made it home, I'm going to be the same Perry Williams that went to Orr High School and graduated in they're going to know who I am. 1979. I'm the same Perry Williams that worked at St. Mary's Hospital. All those Chicago places I've worked, they'll know who I am. And I get, like some people say God did it, but I don't even believe in God did it. It was already done.
It's God's will. It was already written.
Here's something for you ladies. I understand. It took me so many years to understand this, but God is in the future.
The present, past, and the future.
Yeah, but He's in the future. So when I pray to Him, I pray for a strategy because He's already
at the
in the future. I'm not praying about what's going on now. I'm praying what's in the future. What is the strategy for this situation? Because I already know He knows it. So that's my approach. So I had to utterly change the way I pray because it's more effective. Let's put it that way. For me anyway.
And also understanding when to move, because a lot of people get stuck because they don't listen. They stifle themselves. So when you are called by the Spirit to be able to do so, you have to go and move and don't question it. A lot of people question themselves, they doubt themselves because they don't have faith. So that's
boy,
understandable.
we're going in an area that's
shout out to Three Brothers No Filter is in the building. Mr. Unapologetic Noble. He said, "Talk to them, brother." Wow, great show. So yeah, shout out to everybody that's tuning in all over the world, from internationally to Tennessee to Atlanta to Georgia to everywhere. Thank you guys for tuning into Real Life Topics Podcast.
And I love the energy you ladies bring too. I think that's important. I think that's important for a podcast to have energy and you show the passion that you have for this program. I think is great. I think it's really good.
Well, what if us to speak about the dynamics of life, we have to have dynamics ourselves. So, we try to roll with the punches. I mean, even just having you on this show is just, you don't even know, it's filling my spirit. You know how you go through things in life and you talk to people and you like, now is the time. You are definitely filling my cup right now, and I appreciate that.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's what we're supposed to do.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. When you look back at your early work, what's the biggest difference in the style and the delivery today than when you started?
I started in like 88. So it's quite a bit of change that's taken place. I remember working in a newsroom with a typewriter as opposed to a computer. And what else? Reel to reel tapes and carts for music. I didn't use the music because I was a news guy, but carts. And right now, things are really, really corporate. And I worked mostly at music stations. I never worked at a news station. I worked at mostly music stations, and managers select the music. So all the on-air people that go on, all the so-called personalities, I say so-called, because back in the day when Doug Banks was going, that's a personality. Trace Howard, those are personalities. Even what's her name? Oh my God. I work with a lot of personalities, but now it's like if they say something for 15 to 20 seconds, I was listening to the radio today, and I think Joe Soto opened the mic, and it was 15 seconds, and then there goes the music, and then 10 minutes of commercials. I'm like, wow. That's the change right there.
Yeah.
Personality radio, it's a dying breed, you know, but you know, I'm a news guy, so that's just my observation. Now, as far as news, I already know going in at a music intensive station, my newscast is going to be 40 seconds. You know, and I have one that's a minute and 20 seconds, and I'm like, yes, I can't wait to get there. You know, because most news people, they want to do their thing, you know.
Yeah.
If I was at a BBM or all news station or WLS, which really puts a spotlight on news, and I've worked at LS before, it's great. I mean, here's the other part. Most of my casts are recorded. When I was on Banks and Company, we were live. Everything was live. You know, and do you know I make more mistakes when I'm recording than when I'm going live?
I can believe it.
Probably because of you really want to get it right that first time and that only time that you're going live. And that's the challenge. So you know, in your mind, there's no room for error. And then you have that script in front of you and you just go. But when, oh, wait a minute, I could have done that a little better. You know, you got an escape hatch where you can try to do it again. And yeah. So there's a number of things that have changed. And that's one of the reasons why I brought Chicago Radio Legends. So the old school radio personalities can talk about back in the day, because those days aren't coming back. Those days are not, you know, the bad boys. I mean, that was unique. That was once in a lifetime. Wrap down. Those times are done. But people will reminisce with you about them. They will remember that as a part of history in Chicago radio.
With that being said, what do you think that you would merge into today's radio society that comes from back in the day, outside of the personalities?
I think that's a good question. I have a very easy answer for you, because back in the day, community was king.
Facts.
The station I worked for when I was at GCI, we were out in the van every day, different communities, different neighborhoods. And I give credit to management, Marv Dyson, Elroy Smith, the program director. Marv Dyson, of course, was the president. And they had a focus on making sure that the community was not forgotten, that they were totally included. And that's why there's a such thing as, from back in the day, there was a such thing as a fandom, because we were in the community, doing, I remember we had a basketball game with, oh man, what was the movie that Robert Townsend came out with? It was almost like the Temptations. You remember that movie?
The Five Heartbeats.
Five Heartbeats. We had a basketball game, WGCI versus the Five Heartbeats. It was at Malcolm X, and it was free to the community. It was a lot of things that I can remember so well. And even giving credit once again to Elroy Smith, he stopped the hits to talk about the violence in the streets. When there was a high crime rate in the city, he would stop the hits and have some leaders, community leaders, and different people talk about some solutions. And that don't happen anymore. So community is what I would bring back if it was something that would have to return back to the industry. Yeah. Radio stations focusing on community, especially in the African American community. Yeah.
So I think we're the most out of touch with the community. Out of all.
Yeah. I'm trying to be non-biased as a news journalist, but some things are so obvious, so you can't even avoid the elephant in the room, so I do understand.
Even then, we were able to speak upon those things because that is our reality. When are we going to be able to speak upon our reality without it being politically correct?
Yeah.
We have to be able to present those things, like you said, because it didn't matter what was going on when things happened. We spoke upon it. That's how we have community.
Yeah.
We're so out of touch right now. So that is what I do. I agree with you.
So I don't even know were you around in the 90s? I mean, you were probably a little I have to ask. You were? What were you, like 5?
Thank you.
What were you, about 6?
We are 80s babies, but thank you. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I gotta ask because I don't know.
We were raised in the 90s.
Okay.
90s was our era.
So we had I had a recent conversation with Frankie J and Ramosi Love. And of course, the rap down was big because the 90s was big for hip hop.
Yes.
And Frankie said something that I overlooked. He said, back then you had Queen Latifah wearing Kofi hats, and we had medallions with Africa on the medallion, and it was a social consciousness. And I'm like, well, what in the world happened? It's just like all that disappeared, and they gave an answer to it. They said, well, most of those artists were on small labels, and the major labels bought out those small labels and they changed the narrative. And here we go with gangster rap. So that changed that whole dynamic. Yeah. So
intelligence out of the music.
Yeah. But I mean,
they dissected it and only left the void parts.
So yeah, that's what happened. And so anyway.
Yeah, I was doing a little research on you, and I noticed that at one point you were working for a radio station, and then you stopped working for the radio station, and then they called you back.
Yeah.
You
know that story.
I know that story.
Okay.
I was doing research back, and then they called you back. If you could just touch a little base on that, and also if you can give us a story about maybe a mistake or something that you made doing the whole news anchor thing. Did you have any moment that you kind of made a mistake or things just didn't go too well?
Oh, I got an answer for both of them. Well, let me do that one first because it's just a little bit detailed. I remember my first job was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I was hired to be a board operator and a news anchor at the top and the bottom of the hour. And it was like from 6 to midnight. Well, what happened was they brought in a new manager, a new program director or general manager. I don't know. It was somebody in the front office. And I don't know what happened. I was charged for a phone use, and I didn't use the phone. Someone got my code for making long distance calls, and they charged me, gave me a bill. And here I am. I'm all of 22, 23. I got upset and I walked off the job. Now, I did think this way. I said, this new boss, he's looking to get somebody else anyway, because most new bosses, they rather bring in the people that they know and they're confident with, they're comfortable with, and all that time. But that doesn't excuse my behavior. If I had to do it over again, I would not have done that. But I had a safety blanket because I can go to Mom's and look for another job. I had that kind of young mindset, and fortunately it worked out well. I think about a year it might have been 6 months after that, I got the call from Cleveland after they heard my air check. But the story you're talking about was regarding me being let go. I think it was 2014. No, 2008. Because it was not the depression, but it was an economic downturn. That's what they called it. I don't believe in economic downturns. I trust in the kingdom to supply my needs. But anyway, it was an economic downturn. They laid off maybe 8 or 9 people from the company. I was news director at that time. So they let me go. And I was thinking about being sad when I went in the office and I saw my severance. I'm like, okay. So maybe, let's see, 2008, 2014. See, I had moved to Kansas City. Veronica and I got married, moved to Kansas City, and I had how could I put it? I had the bug. Now, if you know anything about the bug, if you are away from media for any point of time, which is something that you love to do, you crave it. And I wanted to come back to Chicago. So I had a few, because I was a manager, my boss who was over me was giving me hints about what openings were happening in Chicago. But in the meantime, while I'm in Kansas City, which is a medium market, they don't pay a whole lot. I found a job with American Urban Radio Network. I was a stringer. So I would provide them news stories from Chicago while I'm in Kansas City, because I already knew who the newsmakers were. And I submitted those stories, and I had a new revenue stream because Chicago at that particular time had a school strike. And every day I was given updates. And every day they would not pay me every day, but those stories I submitted would accumulate. And before the end of the month, I had a nice check. So I contacted the same company that let me go, because I got a hint that there was an opening. And one of the managers called me back and said, you're going to love this story. He said to me, Perry, I would never hire you. Now, I don't know what he had against me. I worked with this guy for several years. I was his bureau chief / news director. And he told me he would never hire me. I'm talking about someone in upper management. Mm-hmm. Now, I would say, and then my wife said, He doesn't know what he's talking about. She's a prophet, so she already know. He doesn't know what he's talking about. A month later, that same guy contacted me and let me know that there was an opening. I found out later what happened was the person that they did hire worked for 2 weeks and found a better job and left, and then they were left with a void. Now, I've been a manager before. I know when management is hungry for getting somebody to fill a spot. That's where they were. And they knew that they didn't have to train me to do the job because I already knew it. Matter of fact, the person that they designated to train me was someone I trained. And he was intimidated to the point where, Perry, I don't know what to tell you. I said, okay, just walk me through it. It's like riding a bike. Let me look at it one time. I'll get it. And that's what happened. Okay. I told the guy to move on. And yeah. So when I say God orchestrate or orchestrated, he did. I didn't have to beg and plead, well, why wouldn't you hire me? And all, I didn't have to go through all those antics, So it was an interesting time in life for me.
So I know you have you again do have a jack of all trades. You have the school, you have the radio stations. You're on multiple radio stations, more than one. So I had a question about that. Even though you are doing it, do you think that it is acceptable to work at multiple radio stations to gain more exposure, experience? Or do you feel like that's a conflict of interest? Again, you do it, but do you feel like it's a conflict of interest, or it's okay to work for multiple stations?
Well, I mean, both of the stations I'm on, which is Inspiration 1390 and VAZ, are under the iHeart umbrella. So it is not a conflict, but answering your question, that's another change in the industry. Most people are doing more than one station. Now, on air jocks, like for instance, Kiki, who is on GCI, she's also in Nashville. She's also in so many other cities. But I never asked her how much are they paying you more for working in all those markets?
Right.
I would hope so, but it's giving that person exposure and that they probably would never achieve, and like I say, recording is what radio is about now. Not so much live radio. So you can't go live in Nashville and go live in Chicago at the same time. Somebody's going to have a recorded segment, or maybe both are going to have recorded segments, So that's the way the industry has changed from live radio. And of course, live radio, you got more time, more personality, but now you don't have so much time. Your speaking time is so limited. You get like maybe 15 seconds, because guess what? I got to go put a segment in Nashville, and then I got to go to New Orleans, and yeah.
So I have a question about maybe advice that you would give any up and coming people who are seeking to be in the media field.
Wow, I think it's better now to get in, because instead of having to work your way up the ground up, or like for instance where I started in Fort Wayne, you can do what you ladies are doing now. Have followers. I remember a segment I think my wife and I watched on the show Being Mary Jane, with what's her name? My name escapes me. Dwayne Wade's wife, Gabrielle Union. And on that segment, she worked for a TV station, and the station went ahead and hired a young lady who had a booming social media account. And what the station management was thinking, we're going to convert those followers into viewers. So we're going to hire her. The light bulb went on. I'm like, so she can go to the table and negotiate with these people because she's got followers. I mean, I'm talking about huge followers where just a regular person coming in to fill the void, they wouldn't be able to bring that to the table. I mean, they bring their talent, of course, but when you bring more, much more like followers or viewers, if you're on YouTube, that's something to look at. That's something for the station to have a conversation about. So yeah, it's different now. There's so many different avenues, opportunities, not just a regular and most people that here's another piece of advice. I don't think iHeart does this, but there are some stations that bring in interns. And when I was news director, I would always tell my interns, you have an advantage that somebody else don't have. You're inside. You know who's getting fired. You know when openings are happening. You get insider information about all those different things. And at the same time, you can show management your work ethic. And guess what? If they see that you work hard, you never know what that will turn into.
For sure. Shout out to everybody. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's
no,
so
go
many
ahead.
people tuning in. Miss Pearl Hale, Tracy, Janelle, Young Teasy, Mr. Rivera, Miss Kimberly Patterson, Mr. Blunt. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. They tuning in. They checking out Mr. Perry Williams.
Oh wow,
Mr.
that's
Perry
great.
Williams.
They're checking y'all out too. I'm sure you got some faithful followers too.
Yes, for sure. We definitely do. But of course, we promoted the whole week that Mr. Perry Williams was gonna be on there, and so we definitely getting those fans of Mr. Perry, because majority of 80% of the world, especially if you're from Chicago, you know of Perry Williams. Everybody knows.
I'm Perry Williams.
The voice.
The voice. One more time. Do it for us one more time.
I'm Perry Williams from the BIN Newsroom on the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Oh my God.
103.
Yes, yes. Could you tell the audience what's coming up for Perry Williams, and how can people contact you, check you out? I know you got the Chicago Radio Legends that comes on once a week, I think.
Yes. Well, like I say, I think the focus is on two things right now. One is Chicago Radio Legends. We have Kenny McReynolds from BMX Sports. From back in the day, he was on radio, and now he's doing a whole lot of TV. I think he got the Silver Circle Award just recently, which is one of the most prestigious and highest. Okay. So I'm back.
Got a little technical difficulties. Thank you for tuning in, Mr. Tarver.
We
losing that signal. We losing that signal.
We need to talk about our subject matter if we just get one moment in of how.
Yeah, for sure. But again, while Mr. Perry Williams is trying to get the signal together, of course, guys.
I'll just keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
And he'll be on at 7 p.m. on the Chicago.
Still breaking up.
Seems like it's evened out now.
Yeah, it should be. It's cleared up now. We can hear you now, Mr. Williams.
Okay, here we are. Maybe I can try to repeat that. The other young lady is still. Okay. Looks like it's better now. Okay. Kenny McReynolds will be our guest on Chicago Radio Legends on Monday night at 7 p.m. You can go to Chicago Radio Legends YouTube.
We'll do right at the end.
Calling all artists. Calling all artists. I'm sure artists are tuning in today and listening. June 27th, Biggs
Yeah,
Radio
I'm not sure if
Music
that's me
Conference.
or I have no
Yeah,
idea.
we just having a bad signal. It's just a
But
bad signal.
anyway,
How the heck we do?
World Communication Institute is our school. We will be conducting classes probably at the end of this month.
Okay.
Looking to do a podcast and a voiceover course. You can go to that website, WCI4U.com. WCIFORYOU.com. And it will allow you to see what classes we have available. The unique thing about the course is I can tell you it's free. I mean, there are fees, but because we're a nonprofit organization, it's tax deductible. So you will recoup those funds at the end of the year when you file. So that's the good part. So I would say the prices that are there now are going to change because I got a lot of more professionals coming in to assist me in teaching. And we're doing some upgrades and a lot of things so that we can be keeping up with the trends as well. So go check out that website and love to hear from you, those that are watching today.
For sure. There you go, guys. If you want to get some courses for voiceover courses, all the podcasters out there, of course, Communications Institution that's what it's called? Communication Institution.
World Communication Institute.
World.
If you're not talking about global, you're not talking about nothing.
Say it again.
You got to think big.
You got to think big. There you have it. Yeah. That's just like now. Biggs Radio is a part of iGlobal Radio as well. So you got to go global. You got to go globally. You definitely got to go globally.
You ladies are definitely doing that.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Yes. You got to go global. Well, Mr. Perry Williams, we're getting ready to move on over to our topic because we're pressed on time. But it was an honor that you blessed us with your presence on this show.
Not a problem.
One of the number one radio legends. Legendary. This is legendary. This is legendary. I wish I can go through the TV screen and get your autograph, but we got it. You landed on Real Life Topics Podcast, one of the most $1 million podcasts within a year or so. So it couldn't get no better than this.
Wow.
If you want to check out Mr. Perry Williams, please follow Mr. Williams. His show is on Mondays. Very great show with a lot of other radio legends. So check him out on Mondays. And it was an honor that you did come on our show.
Yes,
but we also just wanted to touch bases on, because we got about 10 minutes. And we wanted to just touch bases on our topic for today. Of course, shout out to Black Music Month. Rest in peace to Peabo Bryson.
Yes.
It is Black Music Month, so we are going to be celebrating that. I just want to give you guys a little history on that. Black Music Month, former President Jimmy Carter decreed it in 1979. So make sure you guys celebrate Black Music Month. Also, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Men's mental health matters as well. Real Life Topics will shout out to Three Brothers No Filter. Will be on the show to discuss men's mental health.
Oh,
and
great.
Then, of course, our topic of today is the industry. How do you I have a question for you, Mr. Perry Williams. Mm-hmm. How do you stay righteous in the industry?
In an unrighteous industry.
Yes. How do you stay righteous in an unrighteous industry?
I'm not going to struggle with it. And the good part is you're posing the question to me.
Well, we wanted to talk about how do you, only because we're new in the industry and we only been doing this for 2 years now, and we're staying righteous, to be aware, to be alive, to have great discernment.
Yeah.
But you have 30 plus years in this. So as you mentioned earlier, hey, I didn't had to go through a lot of lion, tigers, and bears in this industry. But you just gotta have integrity. And how do you stay righteous through this whole 30 plus years?
Most of it was a learning curve. because when I started, I wasn't in the kingdom,
Hmm.
and and when I first got into the kingdom of God, that is, for those that want to know, someone said to me, I didn't think anything was wrong with you. You didn't seem like you was doing anything wrong. I said, you didn't know what was going on in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing about it is we deal with mentalities. And if you're in the any type of entertainment industry, you're dealing with egos. You're dealing with,
Yes.
huge egos. I work with some of the biggest egos around. Some of them I kept my distance from, because to me, it was kind of toxic. Or at my young age in the industry, it was intimidating. So it's an industry where you definitely should not, or you cannot have thin skin. You really have to know who you are and whose you are. Now, I'll say this, where I stand now after going through that learning curve, my life is, okay, this is going to be very controversial when I say this, but this is how I keep myself righteous. I don't use the label as Christian. And I say that only because anybody can be a Christian. But I'm a representative. That's different.
It is.
Yeah.
That means you carry the onus, the responsibility. You're representing the kingdom wherever you go. That carries a lot more weight. Some people believe in God, but you got to believe like God. That's a big difference. So those are the type of things that keep me kind of anchored, knowing that when I walk into the job, I'm very intentional. I'm going to give some words of encouragement to this person, that person. I'm the light.
Say it again.
Plus, I'm the OG. So I get respect anyway. So I'll just say this. I really believe this God has put me in a position for greatness because people look at me as an OG. And then, if I make a statement that may sound a little controversial, Perry, I never thought you would say anything like that. You know how they do people who are believers. I said, well, let me clarify for you. I think you misinterpreted what I said,
Yeah, for sure.
So that's how I stay using that term righteous. I keep a right mind.
I said yes.
So it's about mentality. Everyone's not going to think the way you do. And the other thing I think about it I don't crucify others because guess what? All of our journeys are different. You never know.
You never know.
You never know that you may be the epistle that they get a chance to read by just watching your mannerisms and the way you model your life. So I guess that was a long answer for a short question, but
it was very well said, though.
Yeah. So that's how I think. That's how I think.
So there you go, guys. Great from a legend to a definition from a legend on how you stay righteous in a not so righteous industry. And so food for thought for today, because we're coming to an end. Again, I want to thank Mr. Perry Williams for coming through. I wish we had so much more time, but we are going to have more time. He's going to be back on the show.
Hey,
yeah, you got.
I'm available.
Yes,
remember, I'm pouring out.
We're receiving.
Okay.
Awesome.
You
definitely do. But I'm gonna leave everyone with this food for thought. It's all about your integrity, having the image. I call it a jacket on your back, like Mr. Perry Williams said. Represent. The way you represent yourself is a very big thing. The jacket that you put on your back when you wake up every day, the reputation that you have to uphold, just please, a food for thought. When we wake up every day, let's just focus on doing better, leading by example, having integrity, and living for with a purpose. So that's just my food for thought. What you got, Miss Carmisha the Sunflower Soul?
I just want to say, when you wake up in the morning, you have to take a breath and make sure that you lead and guide with a sound mind.
Yeah.
That's my food for the thought. You have to be sound minded. You can't go out into the world in disarray because that kind of follows you throughout your day. So if you take a moment before you start your day to have a sound mind, it kind of just guides your day and it helps you to lead and guide others as well, because you never know who you're going to come in contact with throughout your day.
Wow.
Mr. Perry Williams, do you have a food for thought before we get out of here? You got anything that you would like to give somebody today for a food for thought?
I want to follow up with what Carmisha just mentioned. I remember a statement that you might have heard this before. Denzel Washington, one of his practices when he wakes up in the morning, he said, sit on the side of your bed for 5 minutes. Don't say anything. Don't let any distractions take place, and just listen. Now, he says what that does is sets the tone for your day, because you start off with peace instead of jumping up and running and trying to dart and dash to the bathroom and all that. So, but what also I believe what happened for me when I did that was I get nuggets. I get instructions.
Downloads.
Yes. And I know it's not me because I'm not even quite awake. And as clear as it's coming, it's like, wow. So what I do with that information, I prioritize it. This is the first thing I'm going to do because that's the first thing I heard. Yeah. So I align with you, sister. I know what you're saying about how you start your day. Yes. Yes.
That's for sure. Well, thank you for tuning in, guys. Of course, the Kimberly Patterson show is coming up next, guys, in less than 5 minutes. And again, she has special guests, I believe, Bonnie DeBarge. One of the DeBarges.
What?
Yes.
Tune in.
Wow.
Yes. So I believe Bonnie is coming up, and that's the Kimberly Patterson show. She'll be on in less than 5 minutes.
K-Pat.
Okay.
So make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you guys.
That sounds interesting.
Make sure you. Yes, very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, Dave Tolliver. Dave Tolliver today. And I believe Miss Bunny DeBarge maybe next week, because she is going to be on the Kimberly Patterson show. The Kimberly Patterson show is hot. She plays her forever for forgotten hits. Make sure you guys tune in to her at 8 p.m. in less than a couple minutes. Thank you so much again, Mr. Perry Williams.
You're welcome.
It was an honor.
You're welcome
for you coming on to our show.
Thank you for the hospitality. I love it. This is good. I love
my virtual hug through the lens.
Awesome. That's great.
Yes.
I'm intentional. I will.
Yes,
all right.
check her out. And thank you for tuning in, Mr.
Not
Perry.
A problem.
All right. Have a good evening.
You too.
And of course, we're going to pay a couple of bills for our little 4 minutes that we have left. But I do want to thank Real Life Topics Podcast, Biggs Radio, iGlobal Radio audience for tuning in to God's Child and
oh, me, Carmisha the Sunflower Soul. I had zoned out for a minute.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. You guys have a good one. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. And of course, the exclusive interview with Lash Out Fam, a mentorship program for the youth. So it's going down.
Oh, the whole month of June. Check us out. We have so much special things coming.
The whole month of June is a celebration of Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, Black Music Month. Father's Day is coming up. It can't get no better for the month of June. Thank you guys for tuning in to Real Life Topics Podcast.
I love it. Did you ladies want me to hang on, or are you good?
I believe she's playing her commercials now. You can check out if you like.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You don't want to miss it. Hyper Music Seminar. You don't want to miss it. We are a big radio Chicago and coming to Akron, Ohio. It's there.
Well, there you have it, guys. June 27th. If you are artist and you know that you need to be traveling, I keep stressing this to people. Please travel to show your talent. June 27th. Thank you for tuning in to Real Life Topics Podcast. See you guys next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Okay, we off air. Now, back to the live. This is why y'all got to stay righteous up in the righteous view.
I'm so mad we couldn't finish that conversation.
I know, right?
We talked too long.
I know we talked too long, but
he needed it. He needed more time.
He definitely needed more time.
That's okay. He'll be back.
We should have told him to wait. We should have told him to wait because we had to get off air. I'm gonna start doing that too. I say I got to get off air, but I can keep going on here because of course, we are still live. We got so many people tuning in, from Young Teasy to Mr. Terrence Tyver. We had a lot of viewers today.
I need to figure out how to comment in the chat.
Right, because I can comment in it. Is it only because it's on my end? Because I can.
Maybe because it tell me join the chat, but then when I did that, it said connect to YouTube.
Oh wow!
So I don't know. I ain't want to do while I was on live.
Exactly.
And been clicked off or something, so I just left it alone.
So yeah, guys, we still live right now. Make sure every Thursday night at 7 p.m. you check out Carmisha, the Sunflower Soul, and your girl Stephanie's Godchild. And if you want to be a guest on Real Life Topics Podcast, join the meetings of the minds. Hit us up, inbox us. This is what we do. We do interviews, exclusive interviews. And of course, this month is a very important month to us because it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So anyone out there that wants to get on the show to talk about things of importance, because of course, not just men's mental, everyone mental has to be straight. But again, men don't get enough recognition that your mental health matters too. They, again, 80% of this world, men are responsible for a lot of things. Real men.
And as being the opposite sex, we need to learn how to celebrate each other, and we do not do that enough.
No, we don't. We don't celebrate each other. We don't celebrate each other. We don't support each other, especially men and women. Of course, it is a tug of war with us going on right now. We just all over the place, guys. We just all over the place when it comes to men and women, and we dividing and we conquering. We not supporting one another. We're jealous. We envy. We need to get it together. We need to get it together. And some of you guys, stop doing stuff without a purpose too. It's a lot of us wasting time doing stuff, doing too much, going too far. Just stop. Just stop. Please. Please, guys. Please.
But they say you have to have a passion with a purpose.
Please have a passion with a purpose. You know, even when you call people phone and stuff, have a purpose. don't call nobody unless you ain't got no purpose. Like,
I mean, well, you know, people got to vent sometimes.
yeah,
Sometimes you
yeah,
got to get
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
off your
Well, you
chest.
know, you get the vendors.
But it's the difference in between venting and gossiping. And you
Yeah.
know, y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't be gossiping. Man, your business. What they say, man, your business. Drink your tea, have a little food, drink your water. You know, we need to stop being so negative. Let's just be more positive this year. Let's try to do our best. Let's just be
Yes.
positive.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
celebrate each
And
other.
if it ain't
Love each
positive,
other.
just separate yourself from it. Just forget about it. Just if it ain't
Let it
positive,
go. Let it go.
let it go. Stop trying to fix stuff and just let it go. Just let it go.
Stop trying to fix stuff that ain't meant for you to be fixed. Because you know the term that said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But sometimes if it's broke, you need to leave that there too.
Yeah, yeah. You know, I mean, again, when I drop my glass on the floor, I want to pick up the pieces and put the pieces back together. I mean, you know, but again, sometimes you can't always do that. So that's
Listen,
okay.
Humpty fell off that wall. He had a great big fall, and what's the saying? All the king horses, all the king's men, they couldn't put Humpty back together again. Leave Humpty where he at, okay? Get down there, leave him there.
Humpty Dumpty. But thank you guys for tuning in. Of course, we're gonna be back down with Real Life Late Night After Dark very soon. Very soon. It's just a lot going on for the summer. The kids are out of school. We got shout out to DJ Fleet Conference. We've had Real Life Topics headed to Florida. Also, shout out to all the artists out there that's out there doing their thing. But I know one thing you should be doing June 27th. You should be at the Biggs Radio Music Conference. Make your performance. Ohio needs to see you. All states need to see you. But you definitely need to be seen at the Biggs Radio Music Conference. So if you're an artist out there, it's you need to travel. It's time for you to travel. In Ohio, June 27th, that's where you need to be.
And there's more to come from where that comes from. After Ohio, you may not be able to make it to Ohio. Follow Biggs Radio and Real Life Topics. We're gonna put you where you need to be, okay?
Gonna put you where you need to be. Gonna put you where you need to be. So again, and also the Summer Soul Rewind in Griffith, Indiana, June 20th, June 21st, actually, guys. Out in Griffith, Indiana, the Enchantments, tribute to Tina Turner, tribute to the Emotions. That's gonna be again, just go on BiggsRadio.com. Biggs Radio has a list of events for June. Check Real Life Topics podcast out next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Thank you all to the listeners, to the watchers for tuning in. We will see you guys next week. It's your girl, Stephanie Skychild.
And these Sunflower Soul. But let me tell you, if y'all ever want to meet and greet us, we will be there at those conferences as well. Because, you know, we're out here. We're on the radio. I mean, the Rocks Radio. I'm mixed up now. We're on the radio. We live. But if you ever want to meet us, don't meet us there. Beat us there. We'll be there.
You better. I'm saying we on deck. We outside. I'm just saying. Have a good evening, guys. See you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time. And I don't know why I be having an issue so much with this side over here. I got to get this together because I